Hello, Gemini, and welcome to Kat's Real Life Mystic Tarot. I'm here giving you a monthly reading for August 2019. And I've come to find out that we're having kind of an interesting astrological event happening this week. That would be the 8th of August. It's something called the Lion's Gate Portal. And I guess it's an ancient astrological time that they revered. And it happens to be when, I guess, the star Sirius moves into and through Leo. And what that's supposed to signify is awakening, an awakening, an emergence. So, keeping that in mind, I went ahead and I pulled a card for you just for the energies for August, and considering also that we're having this Lionsgate portal event. And the card I got was Temperance. So Temperance. So that's kind of an overall guide for August for you. And it really speaks to moderation in your physical activities, in your spoken word, within your relationships, really finding a balance. It's not always the easiest thing because it's a chemical, this is an alchemical reaction that's happening, what she's pouring from cup to cup. And usually that can be somewhat, you can imagine it's bubbling, it's heating up, it's releasing, exothermic reaction. And so it's not the easiest process, but comes to create, the precious metal or the chemical combination that we want. So basically, you become more of who you are and what you want to be by being put through kind of a difficult passage. So moderations in your dealing, maybe in what you take into your body, maybe a type of diet or reducing anything that might be in excess. And it really speaks to moderation. It's not saying that, let's say, you enjoy having a beer after work. That's fine. That's moderate. But going out and binge drinking on a Friday might be something you'd want to cut out, that type of thing, where you just find that balance in your behaviors. So that's our theme. And I'm going to do a horoscope spread for us for the month of August. And I think I'm going to use the Thelema deck. And while I'm shuffling, if you would just take a few deep breaths, maybe you want to gaze into the image in front of us and just relax your mind. And I'll tune in to the Gemini energies right now. What's for Gemini in August? Spirit, please give us some guidance for Gemini as they're going through their August. We know that, Spirit wanted to give you something. And here we have 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups. So having a lot of options. Having a lot of options and things available to you may have, may be somewhat difficult for you actually to make a choice. So it's telling you to really examine all your options this month. So we'll put that one, because that wanted to jump out, we'll just keep that in mind. And it seems like Spirit's ready, so I'm just going to go ahead and deal out your 12 cards. So I do a horoscope spread, and it will tell you what's happening in every area of your life specifically. And we'll clarify it and to get just a little bit more information with a second set of cards. And I'm not certain what other deck I want to use yet. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, Gemini. Thank you for finding my channel. I'm a brand new channel and people are starting to find it, so that's good. I hope you enjoy the reading. Your first card, and this is in your first house, so this is your house of self. And it shows you as being pretty quick to jump on things, swift action, swift movement. You're seen as being, the guy on top of things. You are definitely on top of what's happening. It could be trends. It could be what's needed in the workplace. It could be that you have passionate energy in terms of relationship. So really some strong and fast, quick movement. In your second house, this is what you value or your assets. And basically what you value are your assets. If you take a look at, she's hiding her kind of stashing her money, her coins out in the field so that nobody finds them. And that's a little bit of what you're doing. You have some assets and qualities that you're not really sharing with everyone else. So we'll find out a little bit more later about what those qualities are and what you're not sharing with the world, and whether you should or you shouldn't share it. You may just be saving money, and that might be all this is about. So that's your second house. In your third house, we have the Hangman. So this is in your mind. The third house is typically what's the mental processes, where your thoughts are taking you. It shows that you're somewhat on pause. This is the Hanged Man. He can't really do much from this position but contemplate, and things will move on ahead when his friend comes and cuts the rope and lets him down off of this situation. But right now, there's not much you can do. In your mind, you feel a little hamstrung. And being that your nature right now is to take swift action, it might be a little frustrating for you. In the fourth house of home, we have Seven of Pentacles. So you might be working out of your home, or you might be working on your home and wanting to see some results from, a lot of effort put in. So some money also has been invested here in your home, but it seems to be that you have done a lot of hard work on your home, or you are working from your home. Fifth house. This is a house of your love affairs and children. You have the Queen of Pentacles. So you're very healthy. This is, and it's also projects. So one of your projects could be to take care of your health, improve the health of your family, if you have children, or your partner. And this is a romantic partner more than a marriage partner at this point in the fifth house. So caring for others, caring for the health of others, and sometimes you can have your pets also in this fifth house. Also minding the finances, and it seems that you have kind of a handle on all of those things. The Queen of Pentacles is pretty capable for material aspects. Alternatively, if you are looking for a partner, you may have someone that reflects all of these qualities. And it doesn't have to be a female, it can be a male, but he's would be a nurturing person, someone who's concerned about health and exercise, that type of thing. So it can be a person that's in your life that you're having a love affair with. Sixth house of service in the world, or work. And this is the type of work you do for service, but not really a calling or that type of career. It's just the job situation. And you have Six of Cups. So Six of Cups is usually thoughts of youth, nostalgia, working with kids. You could be doing some work with kids. Anything along those lines. It appears to be somewhat joyful and enjoyable for you. Or alternatively, you could have nostalgia for an old service that you did and not so crazy about what's going on right now. But I'm really leaning towards you might be working with children, or people that are youthful energy, maybe in the entertainment field or events, or maybe you're a school teacher and you work with children. I mean, just anything that has a little bit of a youthful energy as a component to it. In the 7th house, we have 5 of Pentacles. So in the 7th house, now the 7th house is your house of partnerships or committed partnerships. Can be an advisor or work partner also. I'm getting more that it might be more of a committed partnership, and there seems to be some anxiety, feeling left out, maybe a lack of communication, maybe not really seeing eye to eye, or you're kind of on different wavelengths. Kind of wondering, how do we get together in the first place? And we don't seem to have anything in common. Just going through kind of a strange period. Maybe you're both working on your own pursuits, and you just feel kind of shut out, like this person is shut out of the church. It feels like he's looking in from the outside. He's not really incorporated into it. So this feeling of not really being incorporated or not being seen by the other person. Your 8th house. Okay. So the 8th house is a really interesting house. It's kind of a house of those things we don't speak of in company that's proper company, I guess you could say. Taboo type things, or things that are just not tasteful to talk about. So it's sex, it's taxes, and of course it depends on who you hang out with. That's a favorite subject of some of my friends. So anyway, sex, taxes, monies that are inherited, that type of thing. Now, with the 6 of Pentacles in that house, there's some sort of receiving or giving that balances out a debt or a karmic debt, something. So there is an exchange. So if someone does owe you, and it could be from a past life, it could, you might not know how they would possibly owe you, but you could be on the receiving end of some monies or some benefit, or maybe someone will help you get a leg up on a business venture. There's something like that going on. On the other hand, if you are able to give, and it's, no sweat off your back to really help someone, give them a recommendation, do something like that, I recommend it here, because what comes around goes around, and that's the energy that's in your 8th house right now. Your 9th house, Gemini, 3 of Pentacles. This is a house of higher learning or religion, or possibly courtroom judgments or claimants, that type of thing. And what I'm getting is a 3 of Pentacles, which is a, craftsmanship, certain genius, and usually involves a partnership. So what I'm thinking is that it may be in your higher learning. Maybe you are really crafting your abilities to be prosperous in the world, to have something to offer in the world. It may involve someone else, or it may not, but you are definitely coming into your own in your educational sphere. So really honing your abilities. The 10th house is your house of reputation. It's how other people see you. It's possibly your calling in life, your outer manifestation. And here we have the moon, and this major arcana, which, okay, this is your 2nd major arcana. You also, in your mind, you had the pause card with the Hanged Man, and that was a major arcana where you feel a little hamstrung. Now that was an important energy for you, and now in your 10th house, you have the moon. So this is, the moon really guides us, and this is a full moon, so it really guides us at night when things are unseen. So you're seeing things that might possibly be unseen for others, and this might be great if you have some ideas for the future needs, possibly in, high tech, or, something on the internet, or you have a vision that most people aren't seeing. And it could be in anything. It could be you have a vision for, you know, solving our problems of the world, particularly maybe these shootings. Maybe you have an idea of how to train people to intervene, or, it's something that's not seen by others, and it's important. Some portions of it may be unclear to you and to others, and unclear where even the information is coming from. It's intuitive, it's psychic, it's seems a little crazy, may seem a little crazy to others because they don't see the whole picture, and it's your job to really communicate what your vision is. 11th house. Oh, okay. Now we're talking, Gemini. You have, and your 11th house is a house of social groups, and particularly now, maybe social media. You do have, if you are looking for someone and are single, you may be able to find someone in social media. In the very least, you're going to meet some friends in social groups or social media. You have friends there. And this is going to make you feel grounded and part of the world, and, they really get you. Or you'll find the person that really gets you, because in your 7th house, we were saying like the committed partnership, or maybe a desire, in your 7th house, maybe you are single and you don't have a committed partnership, and you don't seem to find anyone that really gets you, that you feel, at home with. Keep looking, because there's somebody here. 2 of Cups is a beautiful card, like the 2 dolphins, gorgeous. So there's somebody. Came up pretty strong in the 11th house. 12th house is really interesting because it's kind of your unseen world, things that are unknown to you. And here it is, Knight of Swords. So something unseen to you is possibly someone, could be an air sign as well, like yourself, that wants to fight and argue with you. It could also be yourself, because this is your card. You are an air sign, and you're coming in maybe with a fighting energy, and that could be unseen to you. Like, you don't see why someone's reacting so strongly, but maybe your tone or and it kind of does go along with your 1st house, which is a swift energy. Your thought process are quick. You're, aggressive. You want to get it out there, and this kind of goes along with it. It might not work that great for you, because the 12th house can be your undoing, self-undoing. So something that's, try to monitor, and that goes along with your Temperance card. Monitor your approach to people and your conversational approach to things. So that completes your 12 houses. So what I'm going to do, because that's just like a general overview, I'm going to go ahead and clarify each of the houses, or anything that seems unclear. I think I'm going to use the Dali deck, the Salvatore Dali deck. I've had this deck for a long time, and I really like it. It's very beautiful. So a little bit about your swiftness in the 1st house. Tell me a little bit more about the image that Gemini is portraying to the world right now. What is Gemini coming across as out there? Page of Swords. Okay, so Page of Swords. So yeah, I think we're going to have to go along with be careful what you say to people. If you're gossiping, and you're gossiping, like I said, tone it down. It's not going to serve you in the end. This guy usually knows what's up. Actually, he sees through all the stuff, kind of the bullshit that's going on, and maybe can't help but just speak up. And that's good. I personally appreciate that, but I would say most people don't, especially in a work environment or in a personal environment. Maybe they don't want it pointed out, that you see what you see about them. So yeah, be careful. Goes along with moderation. Your second house, that was your assets. And we're saying maybe you're not sharing your assets, or maybe you're saving money. So let's clarify that. What else are Gemini's assets? What else do they have to offer to the world right now? Celebration, party. So you're saving your money and you're not going out very much. You're not enjoying life as much as usual or getting together with friends, maybe because you don't want to really spend the money. And you're not sharing perhaps like any joie de vivre, any of that joy. Maybe you're just not feeling it and no one's inspiring that in you right now at the moment. What can Gemini do? What can Gemini do that still saves money, but to, share a little more with the world? Huh. King of Coins. So basically, don't worry so much about your money, I think, that it's all coming. You have the ability to rake it in, Gemini. So it's saying don't worry so much about spending a little money here and there just to, connect with others and to have a sense of joy and connectedness. You were kind of looking for connectedness, I think. So the pause in your mind, why do you feel hamstrung? Why is this, you feel that you have the answers but can't get it through? And I got Nine of Swords. So negative thinking, something's keeping you up at night. Do you fear? You have a lot of fear about really revealing all your thoughts. So your thoughts and ideas, there's probably some that, like if you're gossiping or complaining, maybe that part you can kind of try to tone down a little bit. But maybe you're doing that because there's something you know and can provide, and you have a lot of fear about getting out there, putting yourself out there in a more vulnerable way. Like it's easy to attack others and, say things about others, but now why don't you put it out there and you take a chance on it? You're a little bit scared to do that, but you most likely have the answers, and I'm getting that you're a more appropriate person to take that job or take that position where you're really the leader, but it's easier to be on the sidelines and attack the leader. We all know that, than to actually do the work and put yourself out there. So something like that, maybe a little bit of negative thinking about your own abilities, and you have them in spades, and you're just holding off, holding back. So we're getting a lot of this holding off, holding back sort of thing. In your house, you've done a lot of work, or you're working out of your house. What more can we say about that? I'm getting the heartbreak. So maybe it's just things are breaking down. Just, it seems like it's endless toil over your house, maybe your car, maybe all those things that, you need for everyday life. Just sort of annoying, endless toil. More reason why you need to, let go and go out and just keep it cheap, Don't go to the most expensive restaurant. Don't go, there's plenty of things you can do that don't cost anything. So, anyways. And it's in your home. So it also can be the illness. Now the fourth house is your home, but it also can signify a parent, either the mother or the father, depending on the astrological, who you follow astrologically. There could be a problem in the home with the parents, and that's been kind of a drain and is required. Maybe you have to help them with their house or help fix this up or provide some money for them to, survive or have a decent life. So that could be going on, or just an illness. Fifth house, the Queen of Pentacles energy. Can you tell me more about that person? Or if it's not a person, is it just a health regime or something that a creative project you're working on? So 8 of Pentacles. So it looks like it is a craftsmanship. So it looks like you are working on something. Excuse me, you're working on probably a creative project, something going on that involves health or budget, money, um, something along those lines. So, and 8 of Pentacles means it's very well done, very thoroughly done. So it's probably something you're working on yourself as a creative project, but it could be someone that you have a love affair with, someone who's pretty darn good at that stuff. So you might even want to get involved in their project if that's the case. Sixth house, just one quick card. I don't think we need much on the sixth house, but that is your service in the world or your job. What's going on there besides? Oh, well, okay, so your 10th house showed the moon, and now we're getting the moon again in your 6th house. And the irony kind of that is they're both houses of work, the only 2 houses of work in your chart. So think that you really need to examine these ideas that you have and bring them to the light of day. They seem like vague meanderings to you, things that, flesh it out. It may have something to do with youth, the youth of America, youth, youthful energies. It can be something that's fun. Again, the Six of Cups energy is incorporated. So Six of Cups is childlike energy, nostalgia, bringing things back to, a simpler time for yourself. Maybe something you did when you were a kid, maybe an idea you had when you were a kid. Maybe there was a first desire, like when you're a kid, I want to be a fill in the blank. So, yeah, take a look at that. It's going to seem crazy to you, and maybe if you talk to others, they're going to tell you you're nuts. So maybe you don't want to talk to others about this, but this is very clear. 6th and 10th house, the moon. It could be intuitive job, like similar to what I'm doing here, or something along those lines too. So 7th house, the anxiety in your committed relationship. I think it's more your fear of not having a committed relationship for most of you. Tell me a little bit about that. So you got the Justice card, Major Arcana, Justice. So you may have anxiety because you feel that you were wronged in the past, and you don't want to stick your neck out there, and you feel like that person got away scot-free with it and you suffered. I want you to understand, Gemini, that there's no such thing. Instant karma pretty much doesn't happen, but karma does happen, and the balance of the scales is not up to you. The scale will be balanced. Let it go and move on. And every